Hello, I'm Sam. I'm gonna talk about movies. I'm in over my head here, folks. I joined four letterbox challenges. Joined like I've made lists, and I want to commit to all of them, which is crazy because combined total all these four challenges, I will have watched 220 movies just from these challenges alone, and 220 is the amount of movies I watched the whole year of 2024. So I will have effectively increased my movie watching because of course I'm gonna watch other movies beside these challenges. And so yeah, the challenges I've listed down that I want to commit are the Hater Movie Club Challenge, the Criterion Challenge, Japanuary, which I'm doing in July because January is stressful, and finally is the Podcast Macabre Horror Movie Challenge. So those are four, and again, in total, with what I have listed, because I included all the bonus stuff, because why not? Why not? So 200, this is the start of my road to watching 220 movies minimum for this year. And so yeah, um, last time I tried to do this was in 2023 with the Criterion Challenge, and I only made it like a month through, and I've always regretted it. And so, what better way than to do it now? So, yeah, three of those challenges are 52 movies. Uh, so like, it would be basically if I'm good at this, if I keep this on track, it's just three movies per week, which is manageable. I think that's pretty manageable. But like, yeah, starting off, I just finished my first movie for the Hater Movie Club Challenge. Uh, I watched The Talented Mr. Ripley, released in 1999, directed by Michael, what's his face? I don't know, the guy who directed The English Patient, starring Matt Damon. And the prompt for this week, this entry, the first week of the Hater Movie Club Challenge was A24 Vibes Week. So not necessarily from 18 to A24. In fact, explicitly not from A24, but it gives the vibes of A24. They gave a list, and I picked The Talented Mr. Ripley because I've always wanted to watch it. I've never read a Patricia Highsmith story, but just the whole vibe of her and like the reputation of her work, especially the Ripley books. Of course, I know about Strangers on the Train and Carol, obviously, but especially the Ripley books. I've always wanted to do that, and I might. Another challenge I'm doing is reading a book a month at minimum. So yeah, I'm just not gonna have a life, I guess. So yeah, maybe I'll read some of those books. And I really like Thomas Ripley. I love how he's like James Bond or Superman, where a new actor plays him like every few years. It's very I like those types of characters, and I might watch the other movies later on. I have not Paper Moon, Purple Noon, the French one, the first time Ripley got adapted in movies. I have that on my list as well, and I want to watch the new Netflix Ripley show starring Andrew Scott. So yeah, I have that. Purple Noon is part of the Criterion Challenge. I think it's somewhere there. It's all in my mind. I promise, guys. So yeah, but I watched The Talented Mr. Ripley, the 1999 movie, probably the most famous adaptation of the Ripley books, and Thomas Ripley was played by Matt Damon. This is a stack cast. It had Matt Damon. It had for Dickie Greenleaf. It had Jude Law, and then Gwyneth Paltrow. Uh, who else? Kate Blanchett, Philip Seymour Hoffman. I miss like okay. Before anything, Philip Seymour Hoffman is like so like it's so inconceivably good. And any movie he's in, like just he is acting, but like I don't know. It's there's no one's ever done it before. It's like doing roles is like putting on a sock for him. He just slips in so naturally, and like which is crazy because in many ways he does like he has things that he does in every role, but like they all fit, and like every single piece of delivery, every single tick, every single acting tick is like and like I'm talking about Philip Seymour Hoffman, and he's like barely in this movie, which is very typical for a Philip Seymour Hoffman role, but like yeah, just like he's one of the greats. Like no matter what brilliant movie he's in, even a shitty movie, you just come out thinking about him, and this is prime example. But the movie as a whole, I think, was really really good. I actually disagree with the letterbox list that has this on the A24 vibes because I don't think it's very A24. I think the only reason this is here is because it's like Call Me by Your Name, but that like implies that uh like the whole brand of Call Me by Your Name, the whole A24 brand is uh projecting itself onto the talented Mr. Ripley when I think it's the other way around. I think movies like the talented Mr. Ripley are very influential and inform what we now know as the A24 vibe. And the A24, everyone knows A24. It's a very fluctuating thing um to describe. I don't think like it's one of those things. I'm mixed about this, making A24 a vibe because it's like well, it's distributing studio. It's like I don't know. It's not like it can't. I don't get it, but I do get it because like even though I can't vocalize what the A24 vibe is, it's like okay, I get what you're talking about. I don't agree in this labeling, but I get what you're talking about. But like, yeah, but I don't think this movie has that. In fact, I think the big takeaway from the talented Mr. Ripley is that it feels like such a bygone uh way of making movie. Like it feels so tactile and it's like having so much fun, but not in a way like when an A24 movie has fun with like shots and transitions and stuff. It's like oh that's really revolutionary, but like when this one does it, it's like oh that's just how they used to do it, and it's very it's very hefty, not hefty, it is hefty, but like that's not what I meant. It's very like ergonomic. It's very airtight, it's very solid. I feel like I could just it's one of those movies that I feel like if I were to knock it would just be tuk, tuk, tuk. Like there's no echo, there's no hollowness in it, it's solid basically. And yeah, and again, like it's from 1999, which is a very stacked year. So like I understand why it's probably not talked a lot uh anymore, especially in such a packed year, but I think this should be in the conversation. And again, it feels like such a bygone era. Like like I hate to say like they don't make them like they used to, but it just they don't. And yeah, and Matt Damon is great. Like I always forget that how Matt Damon is such a good actor, and it always frustrates me that I forget that because I'm reminded, and I feel like a fool every time that like he shines like this. And like yeah, he has it in him. He has that wolf in him, uh, so as to say. So yeah, I really really like this movie. It's very gay, which I did not expect. I know that these stories, the Ripley books, the Ripley character is a very gay thing, but I don't know. I expected like the '90s movie starring Matt Damon and Jude Law. That's like they're probably gonna tone it down. There's gonna be a bit dude bro, but then no, it's very gay. Like this is a gay movie. Like this is explicitly gay, which maybe that's why it's an A24. That's very modern, but it feels I don't know. It feels of its time also, in a way. So I guess it's ahead of its time in that way. But yeah, there's also a letterbox list that became viral recently. That's like uh, uh, movies that dude bros try to tell you are cool but are actually um very homosexual romantic movies, and like Mr. Ripley is on that, and it's like no, what that's I have never heard of that reputation. I've only heard of it as being gay, and like I mean yeah, I expected it to not be as gay as it was, but like that's no one says like oh Mr. Ripley totally me like no like it's gay. Like this isn't a straight guy movie. It's very homoerotic in a very explicit sense. It's not the subtext. It's very much the text. And yeah, yeah. I don't want to spoil things, so I'm not gonna go more in depth than that. But I really loved it. It's very. I like the contrast of the horrible, disturbing things happening with such glossy, perfect filmmaking. It's I like that contrast a lot. So yeah, and I think that's it. So yeah, I'm doing these videos because I wanna have something to do with these movies. Like it feels weird to just watch them and then move on. Like I wanted to back when this was just one list when I was not as ambitious. I maybe wanted to write, but like I don't want to do that. So I'm doing this because it's a lot less commitment, and I love talking about movies, and I just love yapping. I love the sound of my voice more than anything in this world. So yeah, yeah, and this keeps me this looming commitment keeps me locked into this challenges. So yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about the talented Mr. Ripley. Film number 1 out of 220 complete. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next movie, which I believe is Being There. So yeah, thanks. Bye. Goodbye.